this top 10 video, inspired by Michael, we're going to be talking about the top 10 worst characters in Power Rangers Legacy Wars for leaders in the game. There's a lot of characters in this game, and not every character is great. And I made a top 10 best characters. If you haven't checked it out, then be sure to check out that video. So we're going to be talking about the worst characters in this game at this current point in time. These games update, rebalancing, changes, and things like that. And usually when that happens, you know, the video becomes outdated. So let's start off with the 10th character in 10th place, which means that it is the best of the worst, if you kind of get what I'm saying. Alright, so what we're going with is, in 10th place is Goldar. Goldar, you know, I used to like to use this character, but unfortunately, as other characters come out, you know, Goldar has become very, very slow in terms of his attack. His drop kick, most of the attacks can be predicted. You know, if you're using Dragcon, it's not that difficult to beat Goldar. And he just hasn't been in the spotlight that much. Unfortunately, a lot of his attacks are slow. We're looking for faster characters. But anyways, Goldar is in 10th place. Now, in 9th place, we have the Black Ranger, the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger. I used to love this character. Unfortunately, after all the changes and things like that, you know, he hasn't been the best character, unfortunately. A lot of his attacks, especially the best attack he has, is a spinning axe. But the thing is, with the spinning axe, is the enemy can block it unless they don't have a counter. Now, this hip hop kick is one of the most annoying attacks because he first does a trip sort of spin, and then he does an upper spin. And what happens between the trip spin and the upper spin is that there is a time lapse. It kind of stopped a bit, which means that the enemy would be able to counter your attack. His heavy attacks obviously are there, but not as beneficial. But anyways, he's in 9th place. Now in 8th place, we have the Black Movie Ranger. Unfortunately, I used to love using this character, but what happened was that they changed it again. It used to be a really good character, but unfortunately, because of all the changes, his attacks just hasn't been that beneficial. Especially, it used to be that the game was focused on, or this character was focused on using these heavy attacks here. This attack and this attack. But now that I find, because of all the other characters that have been released, especially the ability to counter heavy attacks using yellow attacks, which is basic attacks, then he's not that beneficial. Because the power punch as well as the rolling thunder, it takes time to power up. And, you know, from the time where you press the button and then when you power it up and you're about to attack, the enemy probably countered your attack. Now, this attack, the basic attacks are not that great as well. Not anymore. It used to be a great character. I used to love using him, but unfortunately, that has changed. Alright, in 7th place is the Red Movie Ranger. He was the first character I've ever used, and probably I will never use him again. Unfortunately, he's just that bad. Because what happened is that if you were a noob and you didn't know what you were doing, you would be using the Red Ranger. Unless you're like level 10 and you're fighting a level 5 enemy, and you know, you can run in there with him upgraded and still win. But, you know, this perfect spiral, it takes time to power up. The enemy can counter your attack. The spinning kick thing, as well as some of the other attacks, very predictable, and it takes some time to power up. And what happens then is that the enemy probably blocked it or used a counter attack. So unfortunately, the Red Movie Ranger, the 2017 Saban Power Ranger movie, Red Ranger. Alright, so up next we have in 6th place is the Blue Ranger, Dino Charge Ranger Coda. Now this character is just fun. You know, he's fun to use and just spin around with and all that, but if you really want to play, Unfortunately, he's not that great. If you know his attacks, his shield toss, that one is easily countered. And then the combo one, unfortunately the combo, he does a bunch of jump kicks and flip stuff too. So easily counter. Now his heavy attacks, they're there. Just like the red, not the red, but just like the Black Ranger, unfortunately, he can be countered really easily and not a great character to use. In 5th place is the Power Rangers the movie, and believe it or not, it looks like all these characters that are bad or not that great are the movie Rangers. Is the Pink Ranger, and we have Kimberly here from Power Rangers the movie. This one is just again easily countered, especially with her vortex launch. That one is supposed to uppercut the enemy into the air, but before she uppercuts the enemy, what happens is she's doing a spin kick, and or a tornado spin, and during that tornado spin, the enemy just counter, and then she gets knocked back. And her rapid fury, a bunch of attacks, not that great because easily countered. Charging kick, this one is really, she takes some time to charge up, which means the enemy can counter, and then she launches a kick. And usually you can dash back or you can just counter. Power kick, the same thing. Charges a sort of short charge for the kick, but again, you can dash back and dodge it. Alright, in 4th place, this one I barely use. It is the Purple Ranger, Kendall Morgan. And I do not like using this Ranger. I haven't used this Ranger much. I used her once. And I fought against her. I never had a problem with her. She never left any memorable attack in my head. It seemed like all of her attacks are everywhere. She has like a sort of reverse blast here. Heavy attack. She has this gun bash. And these are all great, but how the attack is executed is not that good. Unfortunately, none of them really do that much, or none of them can combo that much, which is really not that great for this character. In my opinion, it might be good for you. Up next, in 3rd place, the 3rd worst character in this game. When he first came out, I thought he was an amazing character, and then I realized he's not that great. That is Rita. So we have Mighty Morphin Power Ranger here with Rita Repulsa, and essentially most of his attacks are very, very slow. Some of them basically just takes a very long time to launch, especially the flying Rita. He flies into the air. He doesn't attack the enemy. He attacks the enemy afterwards, right? After he lands. And it just gives the enemy a chance to dodge. Stumbling Fool, I don't want to talk too much about that. There's a counter skill, but again, not that great. Heavy attack. He is a very strange character to use, but he's mostly easily beaten. Now, the second last worst character in this game, in my opinion, I like this character, and I love this character in a way because I remember watching him on Fox Kids. So, that is the Silver Ranger from Power Rangers in Space, Zhane. I had high hopes for this character. Unfortunately, the character didn't live up to the expectation. Most of his attack can be countered easily. I mean, his Star Shot attack is so random, I don't even know what to say about it. He just shoots the enemy, and that's about it. And his Z-Storm, a lot of things can be countered for this character, just like some of the other characters, and the attack isn't fast. That's the thing. Like Dragon, what happens with Dragon is that his attacks are so quick that you don't even see it coming, right? But this one, unfortunately, most of them can be blocked easily, which really makes it pretty bad. And of course, you have the breaker attack, and you know, it's an attack, but even I was at level 6 and I beat a level 9 Silver Ranger, and that's actually what got me to win the challenge. If I was fighting Dragcon, I'm not gonna win at level 6 against a level 9. So second place, I like this character, but just hasn't gone there. Alright, in first place, believe it or not, I'm gonna say Trakeena. Alright, so Power Ranger Lost Galaxy. This character is basically, I hardly see anybody use her. And that's because her attacks are so random. It's not that great. I mean, I've seen people use the assist, but her as a leader, just, she is not there. I mean, she needs a lot of rework, just like some of the other characters, in my opinion. I mean, you might like some of the other characters, but using them in battle is not gonna basically help you win the challenges. And I definitely wouldn't use any of these characters in the challenges unless I know I'm level 20 and I'm fighting a level 10. But anyways, so she has this Insect Queen combo thing, and so we're in training here, and you know, look at her heavy attack. It takes so long to launch. People probably know what's happening. Now let's watch the combo. Again, not great of an attack. Now this is actually an attacking counter. See, look at the combo. So many open slots, and it's kind of slow. It allows the enemy to block. Alright, as you can see, she has a lot of slow attacks, which makes her vulnerable to regular blocking or counter attacks.
KO, you win!
Alright, so those are the top 10 worst characters that I think are in the game. Let me know what you think and what your top 10 worst characters are, and I'll see you guys in the next video.